For more on this, let's bring in Heritage Foundation Chief Economist EJ Antoni. EJ, what President Trump is doing, so we've got 150 days of these new 15% tariffs, and then you move from there with Section 301 tariffs, more permanent. But if you look at this $175 billion in tariff money that might need to be refunded that Ed mentioned, that is paltry little when it comes to the size of the economy, even the size of our imports. It's only 4% of our annual imports. Answer me this. What is the point in all of this heavy lifting, rigmarole, whatever you want to call it, with these tariffs, if that's all you're bringing in every year? 4% of our annual imports.
Well, Dagan, I think this was part of the argument that the administration actually had tried to make before the court, that these things were not primarily being used, at least under IEEPA, as a revenue generator. The primary goal here is leverage, right? This president has figured out how to wield the American consumer's purchasing power like a weapon on the world stage so that he can try to negotiate other nations down in terms of their tariff and non-tariff barriers. You know, one of the reasons why he's been so hard on Canada, for example, is not only because their hockey team's not as good as ours, but also the fact that they discriminate against American dairy, against American automotive parts. I mean, it's a very long list. We don't have time for it all. But the point is that all of these tariff and non-tariff barriers, things like quotas that Canada imposes upon American exporters, hurts those exporters and hurts American jobs, everything from the factory worker to the farmer. And the president is trying to use this very heavy-handed tactic, and so far he's done relatively successfully, to get those nations to reduce their trade barriers. That's ultimately, I think,
EJ,
Dagan, what all of these deals are about.
I know that the Solicitor General said that in the oral arguments in front of the Supreme Court, that the point wasn't raising revenue, but that is not what has come out of the president's mouth. At every turn, he has talked and crowed and bragged about the revenue coming in, and I do not fault him for that. But this is a lot of work and a very complicated scenario with formulas and the like for $175 billion. It's bupkis.
Dagan, you're right. It absolutely is a lot of work. And just think, this is part, I think, why Kavanaugh, part of the reason why Kavanaugh, in his dissent, which was very well articulated, I thought, where he said the court is creating an absolute mess here in terms of those refunds. Yeah. Yes, that's correct. How many times have the president's critics made the claim that the importers aren't even paying the tax, that they're just passing it on to the consumer? Well, if that's the case, if that is true, then these refunds to those importers are just simply going to be a windfall, because according to the president's critics, those importers didn't even actually pay the true cost of the tariff. Yes, they wrote the check to the Treasury, but they didn't actually pay for it. They passed it on to somebody else.
All right, well, we're going to follow all this whole thing. It's going to play out for many days to come. I want to get you on this, though, EJ. Senator Elizabeth Warren writing a FoxNews.com op-ed saying, quote, President Trump's broken promise on credit cards, calling for the president to revive his push for a 10% cap on credit cards. We don't have much time here, EJ. You think the president's going to talk about this at the State of the Union? What should he say about it?
I think the president would do well to focus on deregulatory efforts that would allow credit card companies to lower interest rates for the people who are less risky. But when you force them to treat so many people as a monolithic block, they end up having to, just like with insurance, if you force insurers to take on risky clients, you force up rates, whether it's interest rates or insurance rates. And so again, I think deregulation would actually go a long way in achieving the president's goal here.
I know this is a can of worms issue, but we are going to leave it right there, and we're going to come back to it again. EJ, just the beginning of this conversation. Always appreciate you. Thank you very much for coming on tonight.